Hey everybody, it's Valerie Holdren. Thought I would bring you a simple video today. I'm just trying to improve my video skills. I enjoy doing them. It's not that I think I have a whole lot to offer as far as expertise or anything like that, but um, I enjoy the videos, and videos are what helped me when I started learning to make a more fluid, manageable hot process soap. So, each person has their own way of doing little things, not that it's the right way or the wrong way, it's just what they find that works for them. So, I make the videos just because I want to share with others who are learning. So, and I soap in my basement for those who don't know. So if you look behind me, this is an unfinished train table that my husband made for his trains, and he took it down and turned the table upside down, and it made great shelving for my essential oils and supplies. I have my essential oils over here and all of my herbs. And then over on the other side, which I won't show you that, that's my fragrance oils and extra like luxury oils, though if that's what you want to call them. But anyway, today I'm making a sunflower themed soap, and it's going to be all natural. If there is really a true all natural, but it's as all natural as we can get, I'll put it that way. Um, and I'm also experimenting lately with using little to no coconut oil, um, which requires using some palm kernel. Not always, because I'm sure there are other formulas. I just haven't experimented with those yet. But this recipe is going to be 11% castor oil, 20% cocoa butter, and that adds to the hardness, 22% olive oil, and I used calendula infused, 15% of palm kernel oil, 12% sunflower oil, and 20% mango seed butter. And I'm going to be super fatting with sea buckthorn to give it a natural yellow color, and a little bit of carrot seed oil also will give it a little yellow color, and it's also great for the skin. My lye solution today, I used dandelion root tea and with a mix of chamomile tea, and I have mulberry silk in here. And at the end, I'll be adding, well, I'm going to add about an ounce of rice milk while I'm cooking this, or as I'm stick blending, and I'm going to add another ounce and a half after the cook. And of course, yogurt, and I have some sugar water, some sugar dissolved in apple cider vinegar, my sodium lactate. And in my oils here, they're at about 155. I have colloidal oatmeal and white kale and clay. So I'm going to reposition the camera so that you can see, and get my gloves and goggles on and bring you back. Okay, I'm ready to mix my lye solution with my heated oils. My lye solution, the dandelion root and chamomile tea, is pretty dark, but so I'm hoping it's not going to make too much of a difference as far as just using sea buckthorn to super fat with, but we're going to see. Okay, so here we go. And my crock pot is on low. And I used, this is a 20-ounce batch. I wanted a little more than 16, but not quite a 2-pound batch. So when I do that, I usually do about 20 ounces. And my oils were at 167 and my lye was at 177. So okay, ready to get started. And I do this because people say that it gets the air bubbles out. So then I just usually start pulsing, because I have had it splatter everywhere. And then I'm going to add in, this is heated, my 1 ounce of rice milk, or approximately. The rest I'm going to save and add afterwards. I'm going to pour these in individual molds, so I want it as manageable and fluid as I can possibly get it, because I want them to be smooth. One thing about a new stick blender is the cord is so stiff. And this is at a nice thin trace, but I like to take it to medium to thick when I'm doing hot process. I like the quietness of this stick blender. I hope I can get through the video without another phone call. The last two I've made, I've had phone interruptions that I had to take. At 188. I think that's about where I'm going to leave it. I'm also having to get used to the way this stick blender, my other one just one click to the side and it was undone, and this one is a little more safety featured. It's not as quick to connect and disconnect as my others were. So it's the day after Thanksgiving here in Virginia. It's a beautiful day. And I hope you had a great Thanksgiving as well. We're self-employed. I may have mentioned that. My husband's working today. A lot of people are off doing their Black Friday thing. I did my Black Friday shopping on the computer on Wednesday. And I already have one gift sitting on the porch, if you can believe it. It's a nice butterscotch color. Don't look for this to take very long. And I don't think I mentioned either, I'm going to scent this with, I love bergamot. It's one of my favorites. But I think it needs a little something else. So I decided I want something kind of subtle. So I'm doing the majority bergamot, but I'm going to add about 0.20 ounces of rosemary to give it some depth. So I can already see that it's starting to cook up on the sides. So I don't think this is going to be a very long cook. So you can see what that's doing around the rim. Valerie Mosher shared a really nice post to the couple of our groups, our soap making groups, of each phase of hot process. Was very interesting. If you're new to soaping and you want to check those out, there's several really good Facebook groups for that. And you know, I'm afraid to go. I need to put this back on the stove to keep it warm, but I'm afraid to leave this because it's moving so fast. I think I'm going to turn this down to warm. No, I'm not going anywhere because I can see it's poofing up like a souffle. Yeah, that wouldn't have been good. I may let it fold over if it doesn't try to come up out of the pot. Doesn't look like it wants to fold over though. I think this wants to volcano. Yeah, I'll go ahead and stir it down. I'm just going to turn it off. We have applesauce stage. To me, it always reminds me a little bit of applesauce, but it reminds me of oatmeal for some reason. That's what always sticks in my mind, is oatmeal. So I'm going to go ahead and take this because it's hot enough, in my opinion. I'm going to take it out of the cooking unit. Just bring it right back here. And it'll probably volcano about once more, maybe twice, but and I oftentimes use a whisk to keep it in control. I rarely ever turn the stick blender back on it. The only time I will put the stick blender back on into it is if I can't get it the separation to stop. Some recipes separate really badly, and if I can't get it to come back together, then I will, with the whisk, then I will use the stick blender again. But most of the time, after I bring it to trace, I'm done. So I think we're going to be good. So I will bring you back when it starts to do its next thing. Okay, well, it's separating pretty badly, so I'm going to go ahead and whisk it down. I did get my rice milk back on the stove. Keep it nice and warm. Because when you do hot process, one of the best ways that you can help make that happen is to keep your all of your additives and containers warm. So that it doesn't throw it into shock. Starting to get a little Vaseline, a little mashed potato. The separation's gone. Thought I was going to have some uninterrupted time today. My daughter and granddaughter left this morning on the train to visit my granddaughter's other grandparents. And my husband was working, but he just came back in, so okay. Won't be long now. Okay, it's all Vaseline. But the green thing happened again. This is just beyond anything I can figure out. It drives me insane. Normally, I would add my super fat now, but because my super fat is going to be my colorant, I'm just going to wait and see if this stuff cools it back down. Make it change. I don't know. It has to be some kind of a reaction that makes this happen to me. And that was my yogurt, and that was a good heaping, maybe a tablespoon and a half of yogurt. I added it 1 tablespoon per pound of oil. And this is my remaining rice milk that is warm. I'm not going to do any swirls so it doesn't, that's not why I want to keep it fluid. I just want to pour it into individual molds, and I want them to be nice and smooth. Well, it's not green anymore. It's back to a brown. Craziness. It's starting to make me angry. Check my temperature. $170. So I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar in with my apple cider vinegar and my sodium lactate. The the sugar's going to boost my lather. And I did a teaspoon and a half. Wait a minute, I did a tablespoon. Teaspoon and a half of sodium lactate, a tablespoon of sugar, and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And all of that was kept warm on the stove. In a pan of hot water. A nice consistency. And we are back to the original color. And I did zap test and everything was good. So I'm going to let this incorporate together for probably 3-4 minutes while I gather my molds out of the oven and my fragrance. Spray it with hot water to keep it from getting crusty. And this water is hot. Okay. I am just now adding my super fat of, oh, I knew it, sea buckthorn and carrot seed. Nope, not answering that one. Oh, that's pretty. Give me that natural yellow gold. And then my fragrance oil, it smells divine, of bergamot and rosemary. Get it all mixed together. It's really a nice, workable consistency. I'm very pleased. Sometimes it'll thicken up some when you add the fragrance. Seems like that might have happened with this one, although I did keep it warm, but oh well, it's still pretty workable. I could probably let it sit a little longer, and because the crock is still warm. But I'm going to go ahead and mold it. I'm going to put it back in the super fat container because to pour, because it was warm. See, I'm not really doing that much. I'm just going to put these in the ones that look more like sunflowers. I'm just going to do this. And you don't need to watch me do every mold, so I'll see you when I unmold. Hey, good evening. It's Valerie. I didn't bring you back for the cut because there was no cut. It was just unmolding. But I am going to do a lather test. I did it this afternoon. Did one this afternoon, and I'm going to follow it up by one this evening and see what we get. I am in love with the smell. I am in love with the color. And the lather is really nice too. Um, I'm not sure that maybe I shouldn't put a little bit of coconut oil in it. I'm just, what do they call it, pushing the envelope. It feels wonderful. And you know, that's not bad. To not have any coconut oil in it, that's not bad. Um, but I just wanted to be able to come up with something that I could offer my customers if they're sensitive to coconut oil, and some people are. I've also been reading up on, different soft oils, because I know that some people find a lot of olive oil drying, which I use, usually I will use olive oil, but I will also use something like sunflower or sweet almond or apricot kernel is one of my favorites. So I'm just trying new formulas, and I do really love the way this feels, and very happy with it. I would make it again. I might up my castor from 11% to 12 or 13, just to get some more bubbles, but I'm really happy with this. So I'm going to post pictures of the soap. They're really pretty. I'm happy with the way the sea buckthorn oil and the carrot seed oil colored them naturally. They're really, really pretty. So I am very happy with this soap. And thank you for watching another video, and I will see you the next time. Have a good night.